we got to deal with Trump. Trump is talking EU tariffs, and he said that it's going to be delayed until July 9th. July 9th is actually my brother's birthday, my youngest brother's birthday. But he answers some questions like he always does. Let me go ahead and present it to you guys. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Done a lot of good work over the last couple of days. Being at West Point yesterday was incredible. What incredible people they are. And I think it was a very big success, and it was an honor to be there. Very importantly, we had some very good talks with Iran yesterday and today, and let's see what happens. But I think we could have some good news on the Iran front. Likewise with Hamas on Gaza. We want to see if we can stop that. And Israel, we've been talking to them, and the whole situation as quickly as possible. But having to do with nuclear, we've had some very, very good talks with Iran, and I don't know if I'll be telling you anything good or bad over the next 2 days, but I have a feeling I might be telling you something good. We've had some real progress, serious progress. On any other front, I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Do you have a message for the Senate? A lot of Republicans have said there are going to be significant changes to the budget bill.
Well, I want the Senate and the senators to change, to make the changes they want, and we'll go back to the House and we'll see if we can get them. In some cases, those changes maybe are something I'd agree with, to be honest. It happens. But we've had a very good response from the Senate, and I don't know how Democrats can't vote for it. If they don't vote for it, they're talking about a 68% tax increase. Remember that. If the Democrats don't vote, it's a 68% tax increase, which is ridiculous. And one of the things that's being covered indirectly is the fact that we'll be lowering the cost of drugs from 50 to 85% under Trump. And it's going to have indirectly something to do, not directly, but indirectly something to do with the bill, the one big, beautiful bill. And it is a big, beautiful bill. And so I think the Senate is going to get there. I hope they're going to get there. I think they're going to have changes. Some will be minor and some will be, fairly significant. But we've been working with the House all the way up. They've been working together. And the Speaker.
Yeah, I need the white hat, too. I need the white hat 4547. Make America Great Again hat, too.
Has been working with the leader of the Senate. And, they've done a great job. John Thune and Mike Johnson have done a fantastic job. They've been working together all the way up. So hopefully that'll be fine.
President Trump is under federal investigation. Do you have a comment on that and how that should impact the mayoral election coming up?
No, I was surprised. I didn't know exactly. I just read about it just like you did, having to do with Andrew. I've known Andrew, and we've had an on-off relationship. He was saying the greatest things about me. I'm the greatest president, etc. And then the next day it hit us. But I did a lot for them. I brought in the ship during the COVID crisis. I brought in the Mercy ship, and I built about 3,000 units in the Javits Convention Center, and he didn't use them. I don't understand. He wanted them, but he didn't use them. But I hope it's going to be okay. I hope it's not going to be serious for him. Let's see what happens.
You spoke to European Commission President von der Leyen. Did you discuss the 50% tariffs, and did you agree to remove?
She just called me, as you know, and she asked for an extension on the June 1st date. And she said she wants to get down to serious negotiation because I've told you specifically, but I told anybody that would listen, they have to do that. And we had a very nice call, and I agreed to move it. I believe July 9th would be the date. That was the date she requested. Could we move it from June 1st to July 9th? And I agreed to do that. And that she said we will rapidly get together and see if we can work something out.
Don't ever say that Trump has never done nothing for y'all. To everybody over there in Europe and the European Union, don't ever say Trump ain't never did nothing. Don't say that he ain't never gave you a handout. Don't say that he ain't never gave you an alley-oop. He has given you an alley-oop. You requested for an extension. The European Union is doing the same thing that, and he's negotiating with a woman, by the way, or women. The European Union is doing the same thing that y'all doing with y'all student loans. You know you got to pay them. You know you're going to have to pay them. You can't discharge them in bankruptcy. You can't act like they don't exist. You can't deny them. You can't What else? Let's see. How did they get rid of them? Bankruptcy. But you can't get rid of them. They're going to be waiting for you. You can sit there and keep delaying it. You can go and ask for a reprieve. There's going to be no student loan forgiveness going forward. You have to address it. You got to address it. So yes, we're going to give you an extension over till July 9th. So that's another 5 weeks. You get 5 additional weeks to come to a conclusion. Otherwise, we're going to put 50% tariffs on that ass.
You announced on Friday about U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel.
Yeah.
What will the ownership structure look like? What made you
It'll be controlled by the United States. Otherwise, I wouldn't make the deal. I went to the unions, to all of the local unions. They all wanted it. And I'm doing it because all of the congressmen came in, about 5 of them. And the others, I understand, are in concurrence. And they asked that I do it. Everybody seems to want it. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the final is. But they're going to invest billions of dollars in steel. And it's a good company. Nissan's a very good company. We'll see. But it's an investment and it's a partial ownership, but it'll be controlled by the USA.
So remember, you guys, when Biden had dropped out of the race and Kamala Harris then came in, and then Trump was basically saying, listen, we're going to be putting tariffs on other countries. And then he also said that I'm going to stop the sale of U.S. Steel. I think it was over in Pittsburgh or something like that. I'm not sure exactly where it's over at, but this particular division of U.S. Steel, they basically saying that they wanted to stop the sale of it because Nippon Steel from Japan. Now you got to remember, Japan and the Japanese is an ally of the United States of America. They're also in negotiation for making sure that they have reduced tariffs so that they can make informed investments or specific type of investments inside of the United States of America to bring more jobs here in the United States. Now, Trump used this as leverage because one of the things that he kept on stomping on is making sure that he passed his new tax bill. Now, when he passed the new tax bill, a lot of people were holding out because why? Because people have to make sure that they're getting certain things for their district. So you as a Congress member, you have no leverage if you have no ability to negotiate and then add value into the conversation as far as making sure that you pass this bill. All the Democrats, they're not getting anything. So you ain't got to worry about them over in Dallas. You don't have to worry about them over there in the Bronx. You ain't got to worry about AOC's district. You ain't got to worry about Jasmine Crockett's district. They're not working for their people. They're not working for their constituents. All they doing is being social media stars, and they trying to make sure that they raise enough money and campaign money to get more visibility so that they can keep their seats in Congress, so that the House people can keep their seats and all of that. Trump leveraged it as a negotiating tactic and said, listen, we'll allow for these people to invest in, in whatever it is that's going to affect your district, but I'm going to need your votes so that we can pass this bill. This is one of the reasons that he was probably on Capitol Hill. He's now mentioning it. So you got to remember, they don't always talk about what they talk about behind the scenes. Trump has probably been the most transparent president that we've had ever, right? They don't always talk about what goes on behind the scenes. But he did mention it in this. He said, listen, 5 different members actually asked for this. And then the rest of the people were saying that we think that it's a good deal. Trump is a negotiator. It is the art of the deal. It's one of the reasons why he was able to get this bill passed through, is because at some point you got to give concessions. You got to give a little to get a little. Give a little to get a lot. Everybody benefits. This is what we do. But at the same time, you see a lot of liberals, all they're doing is complaining. They're not asking for anything because they're not actually working with the members to make sure that they pass through and get stuff done.
President Trump, on Saudi Arabia, you came back with a lot of investments. There's an American who's stuck there facing a trial for tweets. His family wants you to intervene and ask the Crown Prince to let him go. What do you think about that?
I haven't heard about it at all. If you give me the information on the plane, are you on the plane? Give me the information. I'll see what I can do. Do you think he's okay?
I'm a reporter. I can't say no.
Are you giving a recommendation?
No, I'm not. Okay.
Well, then maybe I won't do it. I don't know. You tell me the way you posed the question. I thought
Memorial
you said
Day,
it
you
was
too, travel
it was
vet.
okay. What did he do, supposedly?
He sent some political tweets about Saudi Arabian politics.
Were they bad?
He said he approved of renaming a street in D.C. It was fairly innocent stuff by American standards.
Let me take a look.
Can you provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine?
You know what one of the strongest characteristics of leadership is to admit when you don't necessarily know everything. If somebody brings up something, and this is just a learning lesson, and maybe he hasn't been informed, or maybe he's not familiar with what certain things is. If somebody brings something to you and they say, hey man, what do you think about this? If you don't know nothing about it, all you got to do is say, hey, I don't know nothing about that. That's way, I haven't heard anything, send it to me. I do it all the time. Y'all be like, Anton, have you heard about this? I might have heard a little bit of something about it, but I haven't researched it. I'm not familiar with the situation as extensively as I probably can to speak on it. I say, hey, send me what you got into my email. People come to me all the time. Rita comes to me, for example, or somebody can come to me and they can say, hey, they're asking for this, or the contractors are saying this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And I say, okay, well, what did they recommend? Well, they're saying that this is the best course of action. Okay, well, what do you think? I agree with them. All right, well, go ahead and get it done. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. People think that people that are in leadership positions, and it don't have to be a huge CEO. It could be a CEO. It could be the CEO of your household. You could be talking about your own small business. Really, people just want the confidence that they already have in themselves to be confirmed by you when they're making a decision. I can tell you that Trump is probably never negotiating all of these deals. He has emissaries. He has people that are negotiating on his behalf. He has some of the smartest people around him. They go out, they do the deal. They say, Trump, we need you to come in and push this deal through. That's when he comes in and he say, you know what? If y'all don't do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do this 50% tariff. He probably checks with his people. Does that make sense, 50%? What do you recommend the tariff should be? Yep, it should be 50%. All right, 50% tariff, and we can't get this deal done because we had an impasse. As a leader, you are supposed to know a little bit about everything, but you don't have to necessarily be the expert. You don't have to be the expert in every single field. You have to have leverage. You have to have the ability to negotiate. You have to build great relationships. You have to create a great culture. You have to have great people that love you, that has loyalty to you, that is the experts. You got to be able to vet the right people for the right thing, but also be able to figure out whether or not they're on bullshit. That's all that leadership is. Is working your way up, understanding how things work, being able to relate to the people, and building a great team. 100%. People will hit me up all the time. Q, every single week. Every week, Q hit me up and she say, she sent me 3 or 4 different subjects. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I say, I don't know about that one. Swap that one out, and then grab this. Or sometimes she'll hit me up and say, yo, I think these is dope. And so I look at you and I say, I don't even look at them. And she'll say, hey, check them out. So then I look at them. You know what you're doing? All right, cool. Let's rock. We rolling. A lot of people need confidence in them. That even goes for your own household. You know why your women don't listen to you? You know why your women don't subject themselves to you? Because you don't exert masculinity and confidence. They don't trust you. They don't trust your leadership skills. Anton says, watch your language, crybabies. Yeah, they don't trust your leadership skills. If you have a woman, let me tell you something. You know how I could tell you right away on if y'all actually are respected in your household. You know how I know? How they label you. She don't say, oh, let me check with my husband. She says, you know what? My partner has to check with me first before we do anything. You can't just go out and buy something and then she just be like, you know, that makes sense. They have no confidence in you. They have no confidence in you whatsoever. The minute that I hear a woman says, my partner, I know there's a whole nother dynamic. Women are babies. Women are babies. Women are babies. They want to be babies. They want to be little babies in your arms, and they just want to be nosy. What's going on? They want to feel like they're a part of it. What's going on here? They don't really want to know about that shit. They don't want to know that. They just want to be nosy so they can tell their girlfriends, yeah, girl, we doing this. We got a lot going on. They just want to be nosy. They don't really want nothing. Not in real life. They don't really want nothing. They babies. Grown women are really just babies. Y'all was so stupid to go out there and advocate to be equal. That was so dumb of y'all.